For Angeli, it's not bucket list, it's bucket list. But that's how it started for me.
Another question. How does that affect your everyday life?
Okay, in some ways it's affected it in a good way because I've always had to watch what I eat. I've always had to, be careful with what I put into my body. But it's also had its downs. It's also had a number of moments when I've, to put it bluntly and straightforward, I've met death, face to face several times, where my sugar levels dropped to 22 or 18 or 27, and I'm in bed and I'm unconscious and they can't wake me up. Or sometimes they try and wake me up, my eyes are open and they're actually dilated already, and they find a way to wake me up. Those are the scary, scary moments. The last one was in January when I was in Palawan, the day after the concert. My wife started waking me up and I just wouldn't wake up. And they were able to get me some glucose and I was able to wake that up. It's a serious disease to have. It's up there with cancer and all the others as being one of the higher bracket causes of death in the United States, actually all over the world, especially in Asian countries. So,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Hi, Sir Larry. About the product, how did you learn about DiabetaMil? When did you start using it, and how is it so far?
Oh, I want to make things clear to everyone. I have endorsed several products before, from toothpaste to cars to now DiabetaMil. I am not one person who is swayed by what I can get out of it with regard to finances, but I'm really out to look for how good it's going to help me in the long run. So I must say that when I found out about DiabetaMil, I had one eyebrow go up. I said, really? There's something out there for us, not just for me, but for us. And I tried it, and I have to say that I really enjoyed it. When we were doing the photo shoot for all of these, I had to take several gulps of the powdered form drink, and I'm glad that they finally come up with something that's just not. You know how they say fat-free, sugar-free, but many times the result is it's also taste-free. There's no taste. But this one's got some good taste with it. I want to make it clear also, diabetics are not just to jump into this and take it without letting their nutritionist or their doctors know that this is what this is all about. Because then the doctor can really put this into the diet. That if a normal person, at some point in time in his life, looks for the diet to take care of himself, the diabetic needs that diet throughout his life in order to make sure that things are okay. So when this is included into that, and as you could see, the pictures here, me on the bike, me performing, me playing basketball, me running, and me just trying to look good. Many of the things that you see there are things I actually do. If I don't play much basketball now, it has nothing to do with my diabetes, but my cartilage, which I'm working on so I can play again. But performing, I do that every Sunday. I just had one last night and the night before. And it's good that I can take something like the biscuit right before I come out. If I'm hungry, but I'm not, and the food that is served are all pastries, and that's too sweet for me. I'll just get something that's basically 41 grams of carb. Put it in and I'm okay. That will sustain me throughout the performance. You're welcome.
Questions?
Any more questions?
Right here.
Hi Gary, I'm
Hi.
Joy.
Joy.
Vlogger from by Joy. Actually, my daughter also is QB diabetes. She's already 11, and when we found out that DiabetaMil is already to market, we looked for it and we had her try it. And we were glad because she liked the taste.
It's good, no?
Yeah, like what you mentioned, as in sugar-free talaga, she didn't like the taste.
Yeah.
Kasi there's like a bitter aftertaste. DiabetaMil doesn't have it. So my question is, how often do you take DiabetaMil? And from what I know from reading at the back of the nutritional value of it, it has chromium and some sort of what do you call that, minerals. It can actually lower down your glycemic or the blood sugar. So if you take it and then compared to you living a lifestyle that's active, how can a kid who's like 11 growing up can manage to do the same thing that you take it?
I'm glad you asked that. The diabetes, regardless of what anybody comes out with, okay, will not come out with a one solution thing. Just take this and you're okay. I had to make sure in the past that I would make people know it's like I go mountain biking all the time and I use the wheels or the wheel set of a mountain bike where you have different spokes. As a diabetic, it's also like a wheel, and your spokes are medication, exercise, diet. Medication has to do with making sure you go to the doctor, you have yourself checked, adjust how much insulin you're taking, checking your blood sugar constantly, and then of course the exercise, which is your 11-year-old daughter. Oh, she's probably active already,
She's not girls.
Well,
She's always putting down everything in book, so she really doesn't have a really active lifestyle.
okay, well I encourage her to try to get into an active one because there's a lot out there that they can get into. But even if she's not as active as you'd like her to be, still, any form of walking, if she likes going to the mall with friends, just walking that mall. You go from Mega Mall A to B and then back. Oh, that's quite an exercise. Per floor, you can do that. But you'll be surprised how people say exercise, oh, that's hard, no pain, no gain. True, but there are times that we actually push our bodies like we are already working out, but it's just that we enjoy it so much that we don't think of it as a workout. Just because we're not dressed up in workout attire doesn't mean we're not working out our bodies. So your daughter might find something like that. But that's it. So exercise, medication, and the proper diet. Proper diet. A lot of people think that that just having a diet is enough. It's not. You need other things. In my case, I do check my blood sugar often. I am hooked up to an insulin pump that is connected to my body 24 hours a day. But even the insulin pump doesn't guarantee that my sugars are going to be okay. As a matter of fact, as I speak to you now, I did not eat anything because my sugar level is a little high. I was stuck in traffic and I got hungry. So I ate too much of something I shouldn't have eaten, and that was saba, fried banana. Sorry, my snacks are really weird, but I love these snacks. Fried banana, it's sweet, it's healthy, but I took too much of it. So my sugar level went up. But with the pump, I'll bring it down. When you talk about DiabetaMil, you still have to make sure that your doctor says, this is a good time you can take it. This is the best thing to take when you're like this, and this is the best thing to take. Because if you just take it as it is, it could also, kind of move you off from something you've gotten so used to. The best thing that my doctor told me when I first got back from the States is, Gary, basically you're actually playing a doctor to your own body. The doctors may not know the effect of certain foods on your body, but you will in time. As you take this, you can put that on a list and say, you can't take too much of that. In my case, pizza. It's not, I know it's like, wow. But it's not like I cannot eat pizza. But through the years, I take 1 slice, 2 slices, and my sugar levels just jump. So what I do, now I've learned, I put more insulin. And then, that's what to all the people who are not diabetic, that's what happens with your pancreas. When your body is taking in more than what it should, your pancreas now begins to produce more insulin. With the pump, what I do is, I look at the food and I'm establishing, okay, that's probably 45 grams of carb, that's probably 60 grams of carb. And I'll tell my insulin pump, I'm taking this much of carb. And my insulin pump will determine how much more insulin is going to come into my body. Minsan mali, but at least in my mind. No, minsan mali talaga. Like I can take ice cream, but then, if it's not sugar-free, of course it's going to jack up. If I take 1 scoop, of course, it won't jack up as much as if I take 2 scoops. But when it goes up, the mind remembers, wait, remember the last time you took ice cream? You should have added a little more insulin. So you begin to determine. And then later on, instead of your diabetic levels going like this, it goes like this. And that's where we want to be. And this product, I think, fits in perfectly because it's not just something that's, it's not like, it doesn't claim to be sugar-free. And that's really great. But it does carry, the things that are really good for any normal person and what more for a diabetic like myself. So I'm sorry if I'm expounding on these things. It's just that the Philippines is known to have one of the highest incidence of diabetics in all of Asia. So it's important that I share with you this information. Any other question? Now please don't feel shy to ask. Huh?
Hello, Gary. I'm John, by the way, from
Hi, John.
Kumagkaw.
From where? I'm sorry.
Kumagkaw.
Okay.
It's a little weird thing. Anyway, I'm like, I don't think I'm like, well, I feel like it's like a hopeless case for me because my mom and dad and everybody else in my family probably has diabetes. What's like the one thing that you actually think of if you think like everything's not going your way in this, whole journey that you have diabetes?
Wow, what's the one thing I think of when things are kind of...
Yeah.
Well, just to tell you a little something is that we're 7 children in the family. Okay, your whole family has it?
Practically everybody.
Okay, well, we're 7 children in the family, and I'm the only one who has it. So that alone, when I was, that from the very start, I was like, why? Why me and all? But when things are not going great, it's tough. It gets very tough emotionally for a diabetic because when the sugar levels go up high, one of the symptoms is you're quick-tempered. Sometimes for the craziest reason. My battery back charger is here. Why is it there? It's supposed to be here. You get it? My phone is open. I said to close the phone to it, and you can't control it. It's a symptom. In the same way that when my sugar goes low, I begin to sometimes I try to communicate like I can't do anything. That's the way. That's the symptom. Now, of course, when you lose your temper, it affects more people. But when I've talked to different diabetics, different people who live with diabetics, that's the first thing they say. Sumit ng dami ko. I said, wait, it could be because his sugar is high. You need to check his sugar. Kasi pag masugit, ayaw na magpa-check ng sugar. Okay, then later on, when his sugar goes down, when he's calm, talk to him. Because when you talk to a diabetic, you absorb all of these things that are being said. The one thing I think of when things are not going great are as human as can be. And I just go, when is this gonna all stop? When do I actually move on? And forever, the answer I get deep in my heart and in my spirit is, you're already a living miracle. You're already living beyond what the science book says. If my wife was here, she could be more accurate. But my doctor in the US said, if there's a certain number of years that if you surpass, you actually get a certificate of something from the States saying you're one of the few that has really gone beyond the expectations of what a diabetic or how a diabetic should live. I don't have any magic. Wala naman akong special routine daily. I just try. I try to bike to work. If there was a shower here, I would bike from my house to come here to the shower and spend time with all of you. But that's what I think of when things are just not great. If you're asking, if you want to know what goes into my head, it's like that. Parang, okay, now it's been 37 years now. Let's do something else. And then I come up and I perform and I have a great show and I end up and I'm like, I'm 51, but I'm not going. And I'm like, oh, okay, but I can still do this, and I love doing this. When I did that, My son has it on video when I landed. Imagine, I'm up there on the beach I'm supposed to land in is this big.
It's true.
And the instructor goes, we're gonna land there. And there I am fulfilling a bucket list on one item. And he goes, okay Gary, when I move back. Now of course I'm up there and I'm thinking, okay lang, I'll be diabetic na lang. Maybe I should just go down na lang. But I'm there and he goes, okay Gary, we've talked about everything you have to do. I'm gonna move back now toward the door. And when I do that, I just want you to take a deep breath. Okay, so deep breath. And then when I move back, the wind goes, alright, we talked about this, okay, I'm gonna put my left leg out and you're gonna follow it with, yeah, I know. Okay, so he put his left leg out and I put my left out and my right. And I see the girlfriend who's hanging onto the wing with a GoPro here. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, and he goes, say your line. So I said, okay, so the first one was, don't let diabetes stop you from enjoying your life. From that point, that's what you saw. I smiled, I lean back like this, and I'm gonna go, and the second one is when we take off. But because it was such a, di ba, diabetic. Many people have the wrong idea na, hey, you're diabetic, dapat you should rest. Wrong! A diabetic should be out there, enjoying himself. If a person, a normal